Cool, I finally know which camera and camera system I'm going to get. It's going to be the Sony a7S Mark II. You've heard it here, it's exactly what I'm going to be buying. It's just been announced the Sony a7S Mark II. It looks like it's going to be about $3,000 for this camera, and if any of you know Sony, the a7S, the original one, well, it was the a7, then the a7R, then the a7S. It's a 12 megapixel camera which had unbelievable high ISO performance. The how far you could push the ISO without really seeing any detriment to your images was astonishing, and it's something which got me very excited. However, the size of the body, the compatibility of the lenses, the lack of 4K video inside, although I'm not, really using 4K and all that kind of stuff, but it is a handy thing to be able to have that as an option. Anyway, the new one that's coming out, the Mark II of this, they've kept the same resolution. And they haven't changed the ISO. How could they? It was already going up to 500,000 ISO, or 400,000 ISO. So it's phenomenally powerful. But the big thing here is that they've added in 120 frames per second 1080p. That's a big one. And it's got in-camera image stabilization, or in-body image stabilization, IBIS. IBIS. So it means you can put pretty much any lens on it which doesn't have image stabilization, which means now you can get stabilized images if you're taking photos or if you're taking videos, which seems very handy. It's also doing in-camera 4K. The previous one outputted 4K, but you needed it going into a separate system and all that kind of stuff, so it seems a bit of a pain in the butt. So with a 4K video on a 12 megapixel sensor, what you're getting is a potentially an exact readout of every single pixel, rather than a lot of cameras will interpolate, or they will just what's called as line binning or pixel pinning, line skipping or pixel binning certain parts of the sensor. So you still get the full sensor, but you're only taking 1080 out of it. Doesn't necessarily work. With a 4K, you're getting the full resolution of this. What happens is you lose a little bit from the top and a little bit from the bottom, because the video is 16:9 compared to the sensor, which is a 4:3 or something like that. The only thing which we'll say with this is that if you are getting this, you can get it with adapters, so you can put your current lens lineup that you've got with whatever camera company you're with just now. So if you're with Nikon, you can get an adapter, so you can put your Nikon lenses on it. If you're with Canon, you can put your Canon lenses with it. With Canon lenses, there's an adapter where you also get autofocus put through the adapter into the lens, so you don't lose the autofocus function with the Canon lenses. At the moment, I don't know if they've got it with the Nikon lenses there. So it means that it's effectively opened it up for a huge range of lenses for you to shoot. They've also increased the autofocus capabilities of this, because that was one of the slight downsides. People thought, oh, it's not quite good at autofocus. And it's also got a tilty screen at the back, which again is not something which I would ever use. The one thing which is slightly worrying me is that the memory use is Memory Stick Pro Duo. That's Sony's own version of memory cards. Instead of just a normal SD card, Memory Stick Pro. I've never seen them anywhere to buy. They're pretty useless. I really hope they just stick in the normal SD cards for everyone else to use, instead of being a proprietary memory stick thing. And finally, the last thing, at the moment, is looking at the prices are going to be around about $3,000 in the UK, maybe about £2,500. What I would say is I'm definitely going to buy this camera whenever it becomes half price, possibly second hand. It's saying it's a rugged body that they're using with like up to 500,000 shutter actuations. It doesn't have a mirror flapping up, so there's less internal vibration going on anyway. So it would be something which would last a lot longer. The main thing is people would need to make sure that they have a good regime of cleaning the sensor, especially if they're changing the lenses a lot. The good thing is, maybe if you get one of the adapters has glass and stuff in it, so you put the adapter on, you never take that off, and you just change the actual Canon lenses that you put on top, so therefore the sensor never gets dirty. That'd be quite a good little tip there. But yeah, at the moment, for £3,000, not a chance. But whenever, maybe in a year, once somebody's bought it and sold it on and gone, oh, I don't use it enough, or I've got a new job and I can't afford this, then when it comes out second hand, I will be right up there going, right, what money do you want for it second hand? going on there. So as you know, I'm fairly not a huge fan of buying stuff first hand. I buy a lot of my stuff second hand, and a lot of times when it is second hand, not only are you getting the second hand price, you're also getting the 8 months later price second hand. So it's a fairly much better deal going on there. But astonishing camera, amazing ISO. And finally the temptation for me to in-camera image stabilization. Finally the temptation for me to go, I'm going to Sony. However, at the moment, the only thing I've got is a Canon 5D Mark II and a Panasonic GH4, which are covering all my requirements. Well, that and the GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black and the iPod. So amongst those things, I'm fully kitted out for whatever I need. But whenever my Canon 5D Mark II finally dies, this is the one I'm getting. Cheers, bye-bye. One last thing is that if you are on my photography channel, you may not know that I've got two other channels. One is my exercise channel, which you can check out, which is Dom Bauer Exercise. I think the actual name is just youtube.com/Dom Bauer. And I've also got another one on this channel, so I've got Dom's Talks. And a lot of that is going to be about, well, me dealing with my first ever newborn baby, little Logan Bauer. Born on the 4th of September, and so I'm learning to be a dad. So it's all my mistakes and all the things which I'm learning which are quite useful. So if you want to see more about little Logan and how he's getting on, check out Dom's Talks. And if you want to see, I've also got Dom's Flights as well. So again, I'm doing a lot of stuff flying my DJI Phantom around the places, and also going through the process of getting the license to do it commercially. So if you want to see how I'm doing that, check out the Dom's Flights channel as well, which I put all the links to down below. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.